his poll numbers were very low. There was very good reasons to indicate he didn't run for re-election because he wasn't going to get re-elected. What's wrong with admitting he's a career politician, having spent since 1994 in electoral pursuits? What's wrong with saying it? Why keep pretending that he's not a politician?
You got to decide whether you want to attack him for being a career politician or attack him for all the successes he had as a career private sector guy. How can you be a career both? You guys don't know which way to go and which way to go after him. He's a career private sector guy that understood how to create jobs, took it to Massachusetts for a period of time, and went back to the private sector. Now he's running for president. He'd like to take that talent into the Oval Office and start creating jobs for America and fix the mess that your guy Obama's caused.
Right, fair enough. Your guy too. He's your president as well. Let me ask you, Governor, about the why. Let me just attest to why this is an important part of this debate. There's a lot wrong with this country right now, not just in terms of the economy, but with our whole civic sort of morality right now. We have too much division in the country. We have a country that doesn't trust its own government. These are clear facts. So what the game is right now in politics, and all the candidates are playing, let's admit that, is to say they're not responsible. Everybody from Rick Perry, everybody's not from Washington, everybody's not a politician, everybody's just a citizen, everybody's an innocent out there. So it is not a ridiculous argument to have right now, which we're having, over the clear nature of what a person's profession has been. Mitt Romney has attempted to live his life in politics and has failed on a number of occasions. That's all that's being said by his opponents. You say that's not fair.
No, what I say is that you got to put a context on it. He took a chunk of his life and went to the Olympics. He took a chunk of his life and served in the private sector. He took a chunk of his life and served as governor of Massachusetts, and now he's willing to take a chunk of his life and be president. There's a hole there, not just one sliver. It's not just a sliver of being a career politician or a sliver of being a career private sector guy. It's a combination of all those things, and it's the combination that he brings to the table that we need in the White House.
I hear the retort. Gene, what is going to do that?
Governor, give an answer.
Governor, I just wanted to ask you about it. Change the subject a bit. Governor Romney has criticized John Huntsman for serving as ambassador to China under President Obama. The Huntsman today essentially said, attitudes like that are why the country is divided. Does Governor Romney stick to that? Or do you subscribe to that? You having served in the White House yourself, that it's not wise to serve the president when he says when he asks you to serve?
I was a Republican that agreed with the policies of my president. If Governor Huntsman wants to stick by agreeing with the Obama policies, then he should carry the burden of having been part of the Obama policies. What's more damning to Governor Huntsman are those fawning letters that he wrote, drooling all over the place about Obama's policies and Obama as a leader. That's what I think is the biggest burden that Governor Huntsman carries from his service in China.
Well, let me ask you, Henry Cabot Lodge was successful in the New Hampshire primary, winning back in 1964, having just served, in fact, was still serving as ambassador to Vietnam under President Johnson, a Democrat. Were the voters of New Hampshire wrong to make that decision?
I think the voters of New Hampshire today would not make that decision. I think there's a very different climate in the world, and I think that if that situation came up, Senator Lodge, former senator from Massachusetts, then Ambassador Lodge, would not do as well.
Well, unfortunately, I think you have to say that Huntsman is right when he said, to quote him actually here, verbatim, "This nation is divided, David," he said to David Gregory, "because of attitudes like that." And I think what you just reflected is that we're living in a country that has a very bad attitude to the kind we had back even in the very divisive 1960s, and that's a bad comment about the nature of the election right now.
People are angry. People are angry at the policies that are reflected by this administration, and they are not supportive of somebody who, in serving that administration, supports those policies. That's what the issue is. It's supporting bad policies.
Okay. Thank you, Governor. It's always good to have you on, Governor John Sununu, a great surrogate for Mitt Romney. Thank you for coming on, sir, from the debate side.